Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and welcome to another one of our complete before and after house flip videos. I know these are some of the favorite videos that you guys like watching, and I keep saying I should do more of them, and I don't do it because they're hard and they take a lot of time. But I was supposed to do a video today of a new flip we just bought. However, there were no keys to it, so I couldn't get inside. So we are doing a complete before and after today. So this is the house that had the crazy divorce situation where I had to go to court and testify, and it was not fun. But we got through it. We bought the house, and after we bought the house, it turned out being one of our best flips in a while. We bought it for $300,000 directly from the sellers, sold it for $416,450. And of course, we made more than $100,000 off that. And no, we didn't. If you are new to our channel, we give the real costs on these flips, not the make-believe TV costs. So nowhere close to that. We'll go through all of those costs, show you the financing costs, carrying costs, repair costs, selling costs, all of those. So we'll have those. We'll have the before video, we'll have the after video, and we'll have some of the in progress videos as well. All right, we'll get started here really soon, but of course, check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, all of that great stuff. And we have 9 books on Amazon if you want more in-depth information on everything we are doing. Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I'm standing outside a house flip that we just bought yesterday. And this is a crazy story with this house flip. It's one that honestly I probably wouldn't buy again, except the court ordered me to buy it. So it was a pretty crazy, nasty divorce situation. And I'll tell you about everything that's happened. Had some crazy stories with the lady who was living here and didn't really want to leave. And we do have possession of it, so we'll show you the house, but lots of interesting things going on with this one. Pretty decent neighborhood, newer house. I actually used to live about, 4 or 5 blocks that way. My second house I bought, if you see me on Instagram or TikTok talking about my second house I ever bought, that was the one where I paid $210 for it in 2009. We ended up selling it for $343 in 2014. And since I was an owner occupant, that profit was tax-free. So that was a pretty good deal. That helped me buy my very first rental in 2010 after I refinanced that house. So this house I found because another realtor gave me a referral to some sellers who wanted to sell their house but didn't want to list it. And after going through this process, I know exactly why they did not want to list it. So talked to the gentleman who owned the home, and it was a divorce situation. And he said he wanted to sell it, didn't want to use any agents. And he set up a meeting to come see the house with his ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, and all that had to be done through her lawyer. She wouldn't talk to me. And so that actually took about 2 weeks just to get me in the house. I came in the house real quick, saw it. She had roommates in here. We couldn't see every room, stuff everywhere. So it was tough for us to get an idea of what was going on. But we came up with the price, and we ended up offering $300,000 for the house. It's probably worth $400 in that range right now. And we're thinking we might finish the basement and possibly make that worth up to like $425, $430, but we'll see what we decide to do. So anyway, we came up with that agreement, got a contract, sent it to everybody to get signed, and the gentleman signed it, and the wife would not sign it. So we tried talking to the lawyer, nothing happened. Weeks later, I kind of thought the deal was dead, and then we got more communication from the court. So we'll continue the story, but the reason the fireplace is on right now is because there's no heat right now. We think the thermostat is broken, and when I came here last night, the stove was wide open, and that was what she's doing to heat the house, using to heat the house. And we thought she was trying to burn it down at first because there's like pans and towels and stuff on top of the stove, but yeah, I think she's heating the house with the stove. So that's why the fireplace is on. But we'll continue our story. So the court subpoenaed me to come testify about the property. So that was like 2 weeks after I got that notice. It was all virtual because of COVID, and came into court. I didn't even really know what was going on. Nobody gave me a heads up. And they were having a hearing to decide if they would sell the house or not. He wanted to sell it. She did not want to sell it. That's the thermostat that isn't working. It's 63 in here now. Not too bad. And so I had to testify and tell the judge what the house was worth, show them comps, and then justify what my price was. And I was grilled pretty good by her attorney, who was thinking I was trying to rip them off and make like 80 grand on the deal. And he's like, well, you know, this house is worth 400 plus, and you're only going to spend 20,000 repairing it, so you're making 80,000. So I had to explain, you know, how house flipping works, how there's many other costs besides just repairs, and how the repairs would probably be, you know, 30 or 40,000, not 20,000. So went through all of that, and then heard, like a week or two later, that the judge ordered me to buy the house. So couldn't really back out, I guess, at that point after I was ordered to buy the house. Oh, we have a light, sorry. There we go. And here we are. We bought the house. Now, some other craziness has happened along the way. We had to give her 2 weeks to accept the contract because that's how long the gentleman said it would take her to sign it. And it did. It took her 2 weeks and 1 day. So it took her that long just to sign the contract. Finally got that signed, come to closing. And then the house has solar. So that was a whole situation because neither one of them would give us information on the solar lease on who had it, on who the company was, on any contact information. So it took the title company at least a week, maybe 2 weeks to get that information themselves. So that delayed closing. I was yelled at a lot by the lady, asked to sell it back to her, even though she's had no job, no money. Told just to cancel the deal a number of times. And eventually it came time to close yesterday. So we did our walkthrough. She still had quite a bit of stuff here, but she said she'd be out and said she'd bring keys to closing. So we told our closer, don't complete the closing until we got the keys, could come over and see she's all the way out, because we just thought something crazy might happen. And so 2 minutes before closing, before she's supposed to sign, she texts me and says, oh, I'm not all the way out. I need more time to come back and get my stuff after closing. I'm like, nope, either we close and we get possession now, or we don't close. So she got pretty huffy and mad. I'm like, that's how it's going to happen. So she ended up closing. We got keys. We got the garage door opener. And my guys come over here, and her dogs are still here in the kennel. And her laptop's still here. So she did not plan to move out all the way for a while. So I told her, hey, come get your dogs. And an hour and a half later, she texted me and said, where are you guys? When can I come over? I'm like, where are you now? She said, I'm at the house. So our guys came over. They were at Home Depot getting locks to change the locks. But I let her come in, get her dogs, get some of her stuff. And my guys came back, and they said when they got here, she was here sitting on the couch. And while they changed the locks, she sat on the couch for an hour watching them and didn't do anything. So I texted her and said, hey, we're calling the cops if you don't move your stuff or leave. And she said, well, I don't have anywhere to put it. I don't have anywhere, to go. Like, can I put it in the garage? I'm like, just, you can move your stuff. As long as our guys are here, as soon as they're done, you need to leave. And so text my guys again, and they're like, yeah, she's still just sitting on the couch. So I ended up coming over here and film some of that. We'll show you. But yeah, I got here, and she wasn't on the couch. She was in the master bedroom with her door locked. So we're here in the house, and as you can see, her dogs are still here. Apparently, she went into the master bedroom and is in there right now. And I started filming and talking. She came out and like, you can move your stuff as long as they're here, but that's it, and then you got to go. So she started moving her stuff at that point, and I left. My guys were here changing locks. Nothing else happened at that point. I made sure all the windows were locked and everything is secure. And she still had some stuff in the garage that she's supposed to come back to get today, which, you know, obviously I would not like to have her do that, but I just want her to leave and not come back. So that seemed like the quickest way to get that done. And here's the garage right from the kitchen. But I actually forgot until I came here last night. You can see her stuff that she's coming to get, which we delayed closing a week or two, so she would have had an extra week or two to move all of her stuff, and she still didn't get that done. But when I came over here last night, I completely forgot that it has like a tandem garage. It's got a 4-car garage, so that is awesome and should really help us add even more value. And I think when I testified in court, I said it's a 3-car garage because I was looking at the pictures in the MLS sheet and totally forgot it was a 4-car, so sorry, court. So we have the house now. Not quite done with the whole situation because she's got to come back and get her stuff sometime today. But it's been quite the ordeal and quite the interesting story. Somehow we managed to have a lot of interesting stories in this business. And I guess that comes with the territory of buying distressed houses, buying houses at a discount. You know, there's a reason that people want to sell them cheap, don't want to use agents sometimes. And I'm not sure how happy I am with that agent who gave me this referral now. But no, it still should be a decent deal. Like I said, we bought for $300,000. It should be worth close to $4 million without a finished basement, maybe like $430 with a finished basement. And we'll probably have, depends. I think the roof needs done. We've got the solar situation, so we've got to figure out how to get the solar off to do the roof. We actually have the solar owned outright, so they paid that off at closing, so it's not a solar lease, so that's nice. And then, you know, paint, flooring, other stuff. I mean, probably around $30,000, depending on, you know, furnace, if that needs to be done. Other stuff, it's a, 15-year-old house, I think. So it really shouldn't be too bad. I thought it would actually be in worse shape when I first came to look at it. Well, right here, obviously, I don't know if that's water damage, probably. In the kitchen above us, you can see it bows down just a little bit. So I'm trying to think, I know there's some other crazy stories that happened here too, but that's all I can think of for right now. But for a while there, last night, we were wondering if she's gonna burn down the house with her animals in it. But that is not what happened. Obviously, she's trying to heat the house, and she left them here because she thought she'd be able to come back and get a bunch of stuff afterwards. Even though we were very clear that couldn't happen, I told them over and over, we're not buying it unless she's all the way out. And there was no, you know, way to confuse that situation. Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. We're back with another house flipping video. And this is a progress video on a house we bought, a few weeks ago. And we're actually making some progress on it. It was crazy. So we'll link to the first video where we talk. It was a mess, but you can see all of that on the previous video. But here, you can see most of the house is painted. This is the master bedroom. The trim, obviously. Sorry, it's a little dark in here because all the lights are masked off. We're saving money because we're keeping the cabinets. You can see Nikki flooring, you know, will still add up. So we'll probably spend $30,000 to $35,000. $385 when we first bought it. And we're actually planning to finish the basement to make the numbers work because those numbers were a little tight. And now I don't think we have to do it. Now I think we can just paint, flooring. That's great because it'll save us a lot of time, a lot of work. Again, no major work being done in the bathrooms, but we are repainting. Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and we're standing outside a house flip we just finished up. So this one is on the market already, and then another $25,000, $30,000 in other costs, and we're listing it for $422,900, which is actually one of the before pictures or video of what this looked like when we first bought it. We also have the full video and description of all the craziness that happened when we bought it on the first video we did. Most of our houses we flip are older and not nearly as interesting. Well, they're pretty interesting, but don't have the nice features of a newer house. And one thing this house has that I really love too is this garage, which is 3 wide and me too, the sellers, they were in a very nasty divorce, and talked to the gentleman about buying it, came and saw the house. His wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife, was living here, so it was quite the process just to see it. It was a mess when she was living here, and made an offer, got the offer accepted by him. She did not accept the offer, and I didn't hear anything for a while. And then like a month later, the seller had said they're still working on it, but never got anything signed. I was talking to lawyers and all kinds of different things. And then all of a sudden I got a subpoena to go to court and testify. So I had to testify all new. And then we have the upstairs right here. I'm also trying to help you guys out because you're always asking me what paint colors we use, what flooring we use, things like that. And I'm trying to get Nikki to keep track of all the paint color and flooring we use on each flip, and then create a page on investformore.com so people can see that. So I'm still working on that. She seems to think other things are more important, like getting jobs done, but we'll see. And I apologize too if my voice is disappearing, because I was just doing like a 2-hour live session for a Caldwell Banker and the Wealth Builders team on house flipping. So that's always fun to do, but I'm not used to talking that much, but that was fun. I might try and do some YouTube stuff like that as well, where I do live kind of educational, PowerPoint, webinar type training. So I like doing those. Those are fun. I feel like I can teach so much with those, but they also take a lot of work, and just not used to talking that much. I'm a pretty quiet person in real life. So up here, new flooring. Like I said, I think we painted the doors. All this trim was kind of oak before, and I believe the doors were oak, so we painted all of that. New lights, new fixtures, and amazing what some paint can do. But yeah, so with the story with the seller, after we bought it, and the court decided, hey, yeah, you need to buy this house. They actually kind of ordered me to buy the house after all of that. We got the contract sent, allowed 2 weeks for the contract to be signed by the one seller, and she took 2 weeks and 1 day, of course. But after all that, set up numerous walkthroughs because I wanted to make sure she was completely out. Now we're going to the basement, by the way, which we thought about finishing but did not. But anyway, so 2 minutes before closing, she says, yeah, I need to get some stuff after closing. I'm like, nope, have to sign. So she said, fine. I was all upset and said, fine, I'm done. Here are keys, we'll close. So did all that, and like I said, came to the house. My contractors came here, thought she was trying to burn it down because the stove was on and open, but that's how she heated the property. And she left her dogs here. So she had her dogs, her laptop, and some other stuff. So I told her she could come back and get her dogs if we were here. She finally came back, and she wouldn't leave, right? My guys were here changing the keys, the locks, and she's here an hour and a half just sitting on the couch watching them, and she wouldn't leave. So I had to come back over here, talk to her, tell her she had to get her stuff and go, and she managed to get most of her stuff and then move some other stuff to the garage. And we should have painted that. That's okay. And then she finally came back like a few days later, got her stuff from the garage, and it's been gone, and we've never seen her since. There you could see the house, the transformation. The market just really went crazy while we owned this property. It's continued to go up since then. So even though we thought we might have to finish the basement to make a decent profit on this one, we didn't have to do that, which was nice, because while finishing basements can make for good videos and make houses, you know, much bigger and nicer looking, not only is it expensive to finish a basement, especially with lumber prices and material prices going up so much, but it takes time. And if it takes us an extra month or two to flip the house, all our other costs will go up, which we'll show you here too. And not only will all of our other costs go up, but we've got our contractors tied up for another month or two, which means they can't start another project, and things just get backlogged. So even if it makes sense, we might make $5,000 or $10,000 extra to finish a basement. With all the other costs and time and projects it delays, it might not be worth it. So really, we're better off fixing the house up, making it look decent, but not doing any extra crazy stuff. All right, so on to our first cost we're going to discuss, carrying costs, which you never hear about because they're boring. And I'm sorry, we're starting with the boring ones, but they're part of it. Taxes. This property we held for about 4 months. Really quick flip. That was really nice. That always helps keep costs down. I think the taxes were about 21 something a year. Over 4 months, they're prorated, so we only pay taxes for the time we own it. They were $731. Insurance, about $1,000 while we have it. It was a bigger, nicer house. Insurance on flips is more expensive than regular homeowners insurance for sure. Utilities. While we own the property, we have to have lights and water and sewer and gas. And yes, it had Tesla solar, but we didn't actually ever get it really transferred into our name before it's into the new people's name, and they weren't on the house the whole time. So I don't know if it actually saved us any money having those solar panels. Hopefully they saved the new owner much more than us. And then maintenance, while we own the property, we have to mow the lawn and shovel snow and do different things too. That costs us money as well. So our total costs, and I didn't add it up like I'm supposed to, so that's $1,926.31, I believe. I might double check that math afterwards, but those are our carrying costs for while we own the property. Now we're coming to financing costs, which you rarely hear about as well because most people on TV have infinite amounts of cash and don't ever have to use loans. That's not true, but that's what they make it look like. So we use loans on all the flips we do because we spend a lot of money, a whole lot of money, flipping houses, buying rentals, doing other stuff. So by using financing, we can do more, make even more money. That's it. So on most of my financing deals, you'll see I have points and interest, and we add them up. Well, as a continually advancing business person, I try and get better deals whenever I can. And we've been using private money for most of our financing, which is basically people I know. And we've had a few new private money lenders hop on the Ferguson flipping show. And so we're able to get a little lower rate on some of our last deals in the 8% range with no points, which is really cool. So better financing we can get, more money we can make. So usually our costs would be much higher, especially on a $300,000 purchase. But because we didn't hold it for very long, and because we're able to keep our financing costs a little lower than normal, that's a pretty good number for a house flip that you're buying for $300,000. And that is all of it. Now for selling costs, right? When we sell a house, we also have costs. I'm a real estate agent, I'm a real estate broker, so I can save money by not paying a listing agent a percentage. I sort of list them myself, but I have staff, I have people who help me, so they help list it for me. They take calls and talk to other agents, but we put it in MLS and take pictures and doing all of that stuff. So we still pay a buyer's agent on almost all of our flips. Once in a while, we sell one without. But we did have a commission we paid to another agent, 3% of the 416 sales price, somewhere I'm approximating $12,500. And then we have closing costs. So I bought the house directly from sellers. So I usually have more closing costs in that situation because one of the advantages of me buying directly from sellers is there's, I'll pay for title costs, some other costs. So I had to pay for the title costs when I first bought it. But I also can do a hold open policy, which is a title policy. If you hold it open with the same title company, you don't have to pay for a title policy when you buy it. And when you sell it, it's kind of combined into one, and it's much cheaper doing it that way. So we have our title insurance, we have some closing fees in there, we have some flood certification fees, some other miscellaneous stuff, all kind of mixed into that $3,000. And that should cover most of it for the buying and selling side. And so then we've got $15,500 $500 for those costs. Now we come to the repairs, which people love to see. And we did this flip kind of before prices really started going up on materials. They're still going up some, but not quite like they are now. But we talked about it in the before and after in videos. The roof was $16,000, and that was an extra $5,000 because of the solar panels on it, getting those removed, putting them back on. We actually had 2 bids because it was so much, and the other bid was higher than that. So solar panels definitely add to the cost of your roof. Flooring was expensive, $9,000. That's because we decided to lace in hardwood in the entire living room, refinish it all. New hardwood is very expensive. I think that's probably the majority of that cost, and the carpet really wasn't that much. But lacing in hardwood, putting in new hardwood is expensive. Paint was about $5,000. It was mostly just interior paint, but it's a pretty big house, pretty tall ceilings, and we painted a lot of the fixtures, the faucets, the fireplace, different stuff in there. So there's a lot of paint going on. The kitchen, we didn't replace the cabinets. We painted those cabinets, but we put in granite, we did a backsplash, we put in new appliances. All of that adds up, and that's one reason why we often don't do granite or backsplashes or all of that, because if you're coupling that with new cabinets, it can really get expensive. And this is kind of a more expensive house than what we often sell, so that's why we put the granite in. Usually we don't, we do laminate. We did add new fixtures, new light fixtures, some new stuff, just not all of it. And then miscellaneous, there's always different stuff you have going on these flips. Staging it, cleaning up the yard, different things around there. So there's always the miscellaneous costs that go into it as well. So all of this adds up to $40,500 for repairs, even on a pretty simple, easy flip. But that roof really got you. And then just, in the more expensive houses, you spend more money on flooring, on kitchens, and all that. So still pretty good number to come in at for the repairs. Now we come to the fun part where we talk about how much money we made or lost. Our last flips have been doing really, really well. Part of that's the market. Part of it's we've just been much more careful in what we're buying and not buying. For a while there in the last year or two, we had quite a few of these. It didn't go so well, but so it's good to see more of them going well. Of course, we have lots of these complete before and after house flips. Just go to our complete before and after playlist if you want to see the other ones. All right, so we bought it for $300,000. We spent $40,500 on repairs. And I think I mentioned that in video, but that roof, we gave them the opportunity, the sellers who sold it to us, to call their insurance company and get the roof fixed and pay for it through that. And we would pay them more than $300, and they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to hassle with it, but we would have paid probably $315 if they would have done that, because we knew it would be an expensive roof. But anyway, financing costs $8,000, carrying costs $2,631, selling costs $15,500. So all of this brings our break even to $366,631. So how much did we sell it for? We sold it for $416,450 minus your $366,231. I did not do this math beforehand, but because of my amazing math skills, I can tell you that is about 34 plus 16, which equals about $50,000 if I did my math right, which I'm pretty sure I did. So that was a pretty good flip. It sold for more than we thought it would. It cost a little more than we thought it would. Unless we're going to finish the basement. If we were going to finish the basement, we probably would have added another $20,000 to those costs. But it turned out to be a good flip, quick and easy, once we got through the crazy part of going through court and dealing with the sellers who wouldn't leave and all of that craziness. So worked out well. In the end, it was a fun flip. We had lots of fun videos, met lots of interesting people along the way, and still a good deal. The other interesting thing too, and I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, we had 2 more offers come in after we took this offer. This was a cash offer that closed in 2.5 weeks. So that's one reason why we took it pretty quick and why we sold it so quick. But we had 2 offers come in higher than that offer, like significantly higher. after we accepted it, and we probably could have sold it for $430, $435, which would be nice, but at the same time, we still did well. We still closed it fast. We still did just fine. But sometimes in a crazy hot market, it doesn't hurt to wait a few days to make sure all the offers get in. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I did. I enjoyed this house. Of course, check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, all that great stuff. We love the likes. Hit the like button. We love the comments. Please let us know what you think. We love it when you share our videos too and let other people know as well, so keep that up. And we'll be back with many more videos on our flips, rentals, advice videos. Like I said, we just bought a new property today, so that will be up next week, so make sure you subscribe to get notifications on that one. That's a crazy one. I paid more than $90,000 over list price on, so that will be an interesting one. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll be back soon.